Welcome to Oyate Today. Oyate in Lakota means people. Brought to you by Native Sun News Today.
Hi, welcome to Oyate Today. I'm your host, Richie Richards. Oyate Today is produced by Tim and Jackie Gallego. Tim is an enrolled member of the Oglala Sioux tribe. Our guest tonight is Mr. Gene Tyon and Mr. Leon Leading Charge. Thank you both for being here tonight. And
Leader
Gene,
charge.
Leading Charge, thank you.
Leader
Charge, thank you so much for correcting me. Gene, you're the director of the Moving Forward in a Sacred Way program based here in Rapid City. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good.
Good, thank you both for being here, and Mr. Leader Charge, thank you for correcting me on that. Gene, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
I was born on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, grew up there, live in Oglala, and work up here in Rapid City at Oglala Lakota College as an adjunct instructor, and now we're reorganizing our nonprofit cultural-based addiction healing program.
And what are you teaching up at OLC?
I teach chemical dependency classes under the social work program.
Oh, awesome, thank you. That's good work. And Mr. Leader Charge, tell us about yourself, please.
I'm from the Rosebud Sioux tribe, also a member of the Oglala Sioux tribe, from the town called Parmalee, located on Rosebud Reservation. Recent graduate at the University of South Dakota. My emphasis was at education administration, leadership, and addiction counseling and prevention. And I'll be finishing my second master's in addiction counseling next year. So my background is treatment and prevention.
Cool. Where are you currently employed at?
I'm currently employed at the Tribal Tech. It's a federal contract out of the DC area, and I work as a tribal technical assistance coordinator for SAMHSA grants located throughout indigenous communities in the nation.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you both for your work and what you're doing. Why did you get involved in behavioral health and mental health then, Gene? Why are you involved in this and passionate about this and made this kind of your life's work now?
Well, I really enjoy helping others, especially our youth, and working with their families. But I experienced that dysfunctional environment, lifestyle of alcohol and drugs. So I made it through that, and the way I found myself was through our identifying who I am through our cultural ceremonies. So now I'm trying to help those that are having a hard time finding who they are. So I really go help as much as I could. You know, I get phone calls sometimes, and I get referrals. So just showing them, it's basically an identity development program.
Do you think that you were detached from your cultural identity then through your I guess your use period? Yes. Or the time you were using?
Yes, I didn't have my spirit with me, I guess you so to say.
So that tradition, those cultural practices brought it back then?
Yes.
Cool, that's awesome. What about you, Mr. Leader Charge? How did you get involved in this mental health, behavioral health?
Originally, I struggled with addiction growing up in my community, in my family, extended family. It was normalized, substance abuse and misuse. Got into some change of lifestyle, and I've been in recovery for 13 years. And really concentrated on building a future for myself. And I got a chance to meet Mr. Tyon through the same cultural spirituality ceremonies that we both have a shared passion to help others. In the beginning of my recovery period, I had a lot of help. And so it's time to give back.
You made an interesting statement there in that this type of behavior was normalized in your family. Is that pretty common then? And was this on the reservation then? Or?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. On the reservation. It's probably prevalent in a lot of reservations. I don't know the actual data. I know that a lot of the health disparities can be affected by the use and misuse rate of substance abuse, especially concerning addiction and mental health.
Was there any kind of resistance to your, I guess, sobering up and wanting to make those positive changes then? I always wondered that, you know.
Well, back in my beginning stages of getting into recovery, I thought, like I said, it was normal to drink and use substance. And then what I found in indigenous communities is that there's a high rate of people in recovery, and actually it's not as prevalent as you would think. And finding those people was the key to my finding my healing, and definitely entering recovery and staying in recovery.
Definitely. Congratulations on your 13 years.
Thank you.
Gene, tell us a little bit about your program then. When was this moving forward? And it has a Lakota name, and I'm going to let you say that part of it because I'll mess it up. But when was Moving Forward in a Sacred Way founded? Kind of the reason being behind that, and those kind of background information on it.
Okay, well, we basically have 4 programs working together: a cultural program, a horse program, buffalo program, and our wellness program. So our name, Oai Luta Okola Kiche, was given us through ceremony, the protocolic way to do our ceremonies. So it started in 2015. And then we let it go for a few years due to other job opportunities I had. And then in this January of 2019, we reorganized and then started moving forward again. And the reason why is doing that is because here in Rapid City in South Dakota, state of South Dakota, in the Department of Corrections, both youth and adult, the behavior health management, the homeless, the substance abuse programs, domestic violence, there may be there is a high percentage of Native Americans in there, so we would like to get them some help.
And so, could you name those 4 areas again, once again, just so I have that clear? It's Buffalo,
the horse program, the cultural program, and our wellness program.
Yeah. And so, bringing those 4, I guess, areas into. So, do you visit the inmates then, or how does that work?
We go into the prison. Probably every 2 months or so, and try to help those that are going to get out soon, so they can have a support system when they get out. And then when they get out, we'll go through our curriculum, our protocolic way of helping.
Now, this type of healing, or this type of medicine, or this type of services then is kind of a holistic approach to, I guess, kind of add to what the state and county and the city's doing towards helping inmates and people in recovery and addicted and things like that. So it's kind of how well is it received, I should say, by the city and county, or by the state, I guess, when we're talking about using horse or buffalo or wellness or what was the other area? I'm sorry.
Culture.
So using those 4 areas, how well is that received? I mean, is it part of what the city and state, city and county are already doing then, or how does that work?
Well, we're one of a kind program here, and it's been used well on other reservations throughout the United States, in the Southwest, the Northwest, and on the West Coast for 30 years or more. So it's gonna be a first here, where our ceremonies are really used to address why you're acting the way you are. People grow up in a dysfunctional environment of alcohol and drugs due to learned behavior or intergenerational learning, and they don't understand that this historical trauma, intergenerational trauma, really intensifies one's personal trauma. So we like to get to the bottom of that right off, the root of it, and our ceremonies are very effective in doing this, so it really helps, and I don't see any program in the Rapid City area doing that.
Yeah, I read recently somewhere that there was a population of 51% Native American here, just in our local jail then.
Yes.
And male, I believe, and female inmates, so I don't see why this program wouldn't benefit that.
And the prison recidivism, in and out. So I think working on a halfway house would be very valuable too.
Definitely. Gene, Leon, thank you so much for being here. We'll be back after a short break.
Closed captioning for Oyate Today is brought to you by Black Hills Energy.
Native Sun News has been voted the best weekly newspaper in its class for 2015 by the South Dakota and North Dakota Newspaper Associations. You can find a copy of the Native Sun News at many businesses and vending machines in Rapid City and the surrounding area, and on all 9 reservations. We publish every Wednesday, so advertisers and subscribers can reach our diverse readership by calling 605-721-1266. The Native Sun News covers the other side of the story.
You can't predict life's ups and downs. You just give it all you've got to stay on top. But it's easier with a partner like Security First Bank. Since 1898, we've been riding with you through the country's biggest ups and downs. And this is where we'll stay. Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on. Member FDIC.
Youth and Family Services Prenatal to 5 Head Start program is enrolling now. This is a free preschool program for children ages 3 to 5 and a home visiting program for children prenatal to age 3. Both programs offer family support opportunities. If you are pregnant or have a child 5 years old or younger, call today to inquire about this free family program designed to enhance children's physical, social, emotional, and intellectual development. Give your child a head start with Head Start. Call today.
When discrimination happens in our community, and it does happen,
then it's time to stand up
and speak out to make it stop.
Discrimination hurts and excludes.
We can be better than that.
People of Black Hills have a connection to each other, and none of us deserve discrimination.
The Rapid City Human Relations Commission can help with discrimination issues in housing, employment, and public accommodations.
And each of us, when we see it or hear it, can do our part to end discrimination.
You have a responsibility to stand up and speak out.
Hi, welcome back to Oyate Today. Once again, our guest tonight is Mr. Gene Tyon and Mr. Leon Leadercharge. Thank you both for being here tonight, and thank you for the work that you're doing in our communities, definitely. Mm-hmm. I understand within the last few weeks, you both had presented at a meth summit held in Pierre with tribal leaders, and I believe it was Governor Kristi Noem at this meth summit as well. And so how did that go? Actually, Leon, let's hear your perspective on that meeting.
Yeah, one time I recently worked for the Rose Pursuit Tribe Office of Legislative Affairs, and the president wanted us to proxy a meeting for him at the Great Plains Tribal Chairman Association, and some of the subject area was methamphetamine and opioid addiction. On behalf of that meeting, we were invited to, I was invited to present at the State Tribal Relations Meth Summit. So I thought it'd be really important to bring Gene in because we shared the same passion. So we split our presentation into 2 parts, and I did evidence-based therapy, theories of therapy that intersect with culture and complement each other pretty well. And then Gene here did the presentation on the OLO program. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty well received. We got a lot of good feedback, and I think that and when you're looking at evidence-based theories of therapy based in treatment and prevention of substance abuse and co-occurring mental health disorders, a lot of that is sitting in the culture, you know, the Native American or indigenous culture of the Lakota people. Unfortunately, that culture was the federal formation of federal policy at one time eradicated that culture. So in our push, we're trying to bring some of that back to people who want to learn about it, because recovery rates are higher for people who sit in those in the cultural ceremonies and find their center again and find their spirit back, call their spirit back, and go through the protocol of working with some of our traditional healers.
Mm-hmm. I think that's needed here in Rapid City a lot, because I haven't heard enough about, you know, those traditional practices being not only allowed but practiced in the facilities here. So,
sure.
Gene, how did the Meth Summit go for you too then?
It went really good. We gave them the programs that attended, a lot of state programs, behavioral health, FBI, the Department of Corrections, and other substance abuse treatment programs. Really liked it because we're getting back to the roots of who we are. who are intended to be. We can't, the programs that are out there now, they're effective in a way that to help adjust behavior. But ours really gets to the deep root of who we are. It really helps identify what had happened in the past. So we're in this way today. And then we realize that, and then we continue on in our protocolic ways. In our cultural program, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to attend a Inipita Sweat Lodge or be a sun dancer, but just to have that pride in who we are, that self-esteem, and then we can go on and get our higher education. Our workforce development program can help you in trainings and to get a good working job, to take care of our families, to be responsible and accountable in what we do. So this is the basis of identity development, to be, instead of always waiting for permission or approval to do something, which a mode we're stuck in from the governmental process.
It's similar, but it's not the same as a 12-step program. I mean,
it may be similar,
and just from what you're saying.
Yeah, but again, it's our way of doing this. We need to do this our way, because we can't be them and they can't be us, so it's basically for us.
Is there a curriculum that's been established, and is there like a guideline that somebody can go and find and kind of research a little bit more?
You have to come to our program to go through the program to understand what we're really.
Do you have a website or some contact information that we can?
Like I said, we're reorganizing and we're getting there we're looking at office space here in Rapid City, so.
Do you have a Facebook?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
And so what is
Oyate Luta.
Okay, so we can find you on there somewhere.
Yes.
Okay, cool, awesome. What's next for the program then? I mean, I know that you're waiting to really get this reinvigorated and really get the push for it, but what's the next step in this then?
Funding. We put in for some grants, and we got grant writers helping us, so we can get established as a place, and then a residential program. A detox, a residential program, so we can have this our equine therapy, and our raise and breed our buffalo with a garden. That will be our food, and then just a bunch of, this is our homeland. The Black Hills is our homeland. So we can identify, we go certain times, we go certain places to pray and change the seasons. And the star knowledge, we got some medicine people, Mr. Rick Two Dogs and Richard Moosecamp, that are really valuable in our program. So we seek them for guidance. We use them for guidance, and they show us the knowledge about all our homeland here. So it really helps to understand who we are,
And Mr. Leader Charge, you've been playing kind of a supportive role in all of this and kind of helping and supporting what Gene's doing. So how's this been going for you then, and what role have you played in all of this then too?
Yeah, it's all volunteer based. It's part of my passion to give back, and we've recently worked with a young gentleman who's having a problem with meth addiction, and he wanted to go the route of working with the culture. And we never, like Gene mentioned, we don't try to push anything onto anyone. It's definitely their commitment. They're wanting to find, like you mentioned, there's a lot of people that want to go that route but don't know where to start. So a lot of the stuff that we work with through the program is introductory level, and just kind of getting them re-engaged in who they are. And there's a lot of different areas you can work with that. And education is basically the vehicle, and it helps for interchange, because we want to instill values like self-efficacy, self-esteem, self-determination. Unfortunately, these handouts aren't working. These programs, like what we're building, we want to build, and the passion and the vision is going to only work from hand-up efforts. And those hand-up efforts, we don't know where they come from in the future, whether it be the state, the city, the county, our own nations across the nation, other indigenous nations. The program started through prayer, through ceremony, wanting us. We want to take action, and I'm available anytime to help Gene. Like he mentioned, we've been into the prison system, and we talk to inmates. And just to show just support in any way, that that there's people like us that want to help and want to in any way give any assistance.
That's just it. I don't see why a program like this wouldn't be in every kind of urban area in South Dakota, working on this angle, working with Native Americans directly, cultural items directly, and I don't see why this program wouldn't have its place in these city and county offices. But I guess that's just my opinion. We'll be back after a short break.
I want some more.
What's he doing?
But he can't.
Look at him. It's just not done.
Please, sir, I want some more.
More? More?
More? Please, sir.
He has asked for more!
Thank you.
What? Well, he did say please. Sir?
Yes, he did. And thank you.
Yeah, and thank you.
He's a wonderful boy. A delightful boy.
Please, and thank you. Pass it on.
And thank you. You're welcome.
Every day. 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 Every day.
I have a dream. I want to be a soldier. I have a dream. I want to be a construction worker.
You can help kids' dreams come true by donating to Rural America Initiative's Building Fund.
Hi, welcome back to Oyate Today. Once again, our guests tonight is Mr. Gene Tyon and Mr. Leon Leader Charge. Thank you both for being here tonight, and definitely for the work that you're doing. I really appreciate it, especially looking out for our youth. That plays a special role in my life's mission as well. But just from your perspective, both of you have boots on the ground, both of you are in the community, and both of you are working in this directly. But Gene, I guess from your perspective, why do you feel that youth, or even adults in this case, why are Native Americans either urban-based or reservation-based? Why are we using today? Why are we turning to drugs and alcohol, even though it's been for generations?
Well, a lot of youth and adults, sometimes it's a fad, sometimes it's learned behavior, but a lot of it is medicating with alcohol and drugs, meaning they have to turn to something because they cannot handle the life's pressures that is going on. There's a lot of abuses in Indian country, or all over the world. Sexual abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, racial abuse, that really can put down a person. And they stuff it, meaning that they hold on to it, they don't talk to anybody about it. And then the only way sometimes a person can talk is to have a few drinks or some drugs or such, I know all this because I experienced it. I've been through that lifestyle, so like I said, I'm really trying to help those that are going through this. And in really getting your spirit back, which is what we do through ceremony, is it really helps a person to become whole again. Of course, there's a process that we work with, sometimes short, sometimes long, and it depends on the individual and the help that is being given to them. So we really enjoy this because we see people overcoming. We have a camp that we do, and 2 years ago I seen a meth addict who is still clean today, 2 years later, that attended, and she was amazed how she was able to express herself. So it's really.
So you've seen the work.
Yeah, I see it all the time.
Definitely. Leon, how about you? Why are we using today? Why are Native Americans so entrenched in this, I guess?
Well, I think that poverty is the main issue, and addiction and the health disparities that happen within our indigenous communities are just symptoms of poverty. And what happens is a lot of hopelessness and lack of opportunity. It really does take one of our own to swim against the grain, to find opportunity, to find hope. And it's why we have a lot of high suicide rates. And I think that at some point, what Gene was talking about is medicating that pain of living in hopelessness and lack of opportunity and the effects of poverty. Like I said, there's a lot of handouts, and a lot of our own tribal members need hand-ups. How does that look? That's a good question. Recently, we've pushed and created a bill that will hopefully offer free tuition for Native Americans in the public post-secondary institutions in the state.
That's awesome.
Native Americans at the lowest retention level at 22% currently. So every 1 out of 5 Native Americans we have no problem recruiting Native Americans into the public post-secondary institutions. The problem is retention. And going back to culture, spirituality, and wholeness, we do have the manual, and it was developed through ceremony, how to work with medicine healers, traditional healers in our reservations and our indigenous communities. That's been created, and it's proprietary to the program. Another thing is, when I entered recovery, a lot of the people that have been in recovery 20, 30 years have done it through the culture, through the spirituality, the ceremony. It started with AA, going to church, all these different other support programs that are effective, inpatient treatment, outpatient treatment, prevention programming. But the key was the culture, and we need the data on that, and we're working on other measures where we want to groom our own indigenous researchers that do our own indigenous research and own our own data.
Good deal. Thank you so much, Leon. Gene, thank you so much for being here. And this conversation, we're talking, when we look at it from American or Western society, we're talking about holistic medicine, but this is our medicine. This is our ways of healing, and it should be more accepted, should be more practiced, and should be more available. I want to thank our producers. I want to thank our sponsors. I want to thank Prairie Edge for hosting our show tonight, and definitely want to thank our 2 gentlemen that came on our show tonight. But I want to thank you for making Oyate Today a part of your night.
You've been watching Oyate Today, brought to you by Native Sun News Today.